Hi, and welcome to Yoga Jadra. For today's practice, I did a little experiment in terms of the recording. So I'm recording the audio and the video separately, which for me meant that I wanted to make it as simple as possible. So if you're familiar with my classes at all, hopefully this sequence today will actually be pretty predictable. We'll start seated, we'll get into sun salutations, there's a warrior sequence, malasana, shoulder stretch, shoulder stand, plow, fish sequence, bridge, reclined twists, and we'll end with shavasana. So go ahead and grab your mat because we're about to begin. Let's begin in a tall seated position, top of the head reaching high, tailbone reaching down to the earth, bringing awareness to the breath. Expanding on the inhale and contracting on the exhale. If you like, now is the time to set an intention, perhaps just a word or a short phrase. Peace, content, strength, compassion. Let's come together with the sound of Om 3 times. Rocking the head right to left, side to side. If you feel comfortable with the strength in the neck, you could go full circles if that feels beneficial for you. Evening it out, both directions. Coming back to center, we'll make our way up to standing at the front of the mat, feet parallel. Prepare for sun salutation, standing Tadasana. Inhale lifts the heart up and back, high arch. Release on the exhale over into Uttanasana, letting the head hang, good shake. Yes and no. Releasing the muscles in the neck and back. Right foot goes back, low lunge. Sink in the hips as you lift up the heart. Check that the knee is pointing in the direction of the toes. Coming back to plank. Long line from the heels to the top of the head. We'll lower down knees, heart and chin for 8 points pose. Come forward and up into cobra. Press back, downward dog. Moving whatever way feels beneficial for your joints, for your body right here, right now. Knowing that every one of us looks a little different in the pose. Right foot forward, low lunge, other side. Down with the hips, up with the heart. Back foot comes to meet the front and we'll hang once again in that forward fold. Connect the upper body to the thighs. Maybe clasping the lower legs with the forearms to deepen stretch. All the way up, turning to high arch. And we'll prepare for the second side. Exhale, folds over. left foot back this time. And you can go a little deeper into the stretch if you like. Maybe even turning out that right foot and keeping the knee pointing in the same direction, but finding depth in the hip stretch. Adding the quad stretch if you like, reaching back, bringing the left toes towards the seat. Again, these poses will look different in every body. So whatever feels like a nice quad stretch for you. Coming into plank pose. And we'll add the chaturanga to lift into upward facing dog, always optional. You can return back to chaturanga, through plank, and into downward facing dog. Your body is your own best teacher, following along and listening to your physical needs. Left foot forward, low lunge, other side. Prepare for the deep stretch. Maybe opening up the left foot a little, sinking into it. If you like, reaching back. If you tried on the first side, try it on this side. Reaching back, grab that back foot. This time the right foot. Draw it in for the deep quad stretch. Holding a few breaths will help our muscles understand that what we're asking is for a stretch. Back foot meets right, or back foot meets front, forward fold, hanging over, finding your pose here. Top of the head reaches forward, up and back, high arch, down through heart center. And we'll start off the warrior sequence with the same lift and fold. Right foot goes back, low lunge, and this time we'll add some dynamic movement. We'll swing the hips forward and back, kind of oiling out the joints. And next time your hips swing to the back, we'll keep them over that back knee. Use the blocks if you need to. Find the stretch that works for your hamstring. And if you have full hanumanasana, if you have a full split, go ahead and get into it. Try and keep the hips square to the front of the mat. Big hamstring stretch. Easing back out, either half or full Hanuman, and find your way to plank. With length from heels to the top of the head, we'll add the rocking here if you like. Totally just an option. Lowering down, lifting into cobra or upward facing dog. Return and find your way into downward facing dog. Down dog split, right leg comes up and back. Whatever down dog split means for you. Again, a little movement. Swing the right knee to the right elbow and side to side. So right elbow, left elbow, right elbow, left elbow. And return back to down dog split. Step the right foot forward in between the hands. Come up all the way for warrior one. Back heel is now on the floor, outer edge of the back foot pressing into the mat. Open into warrior two. Keep that right knee pointing in the direction of the toes. Arms are long and parallel. Left hand goes down, right arm reaches up and back for a reverse side angle. If you have the bind, go ahead. Just an option. Return to warrior two and prepare for Ardha Chandrasana. The right hand's going to go diagonally out in front of the right foot. You're welcome to use the block there. Left hand reaching high to the sky and into the forward fold release. Allowing these moments of inversion to be moments of ease, of letting the back muscles find a little bit of release from the tension of standing and sitting straight up all day. Top of the head reaches forward, up and back, high arch. Maybe a little shimmy. Return to Tadasana. And again, up and back. Second side. Forward fold on an exhale. Left foot reaches back. Prepare for hanumanasana with our movement forward and back with the hips. And we'll ease our way into a hamstring stretch on this side. So you might keep that right knee bent. It might be long. Or if you're feeling really open, you might find your way all the way down into the full split. Again, check in with the hips. See if you can keep them square to the front of the mat, wherever you are. And we'll ease out of Hanuman and find your way to plank. This time we'll go down into a forearm plank, right and left, or whichever way you want, and hold here. Abdominals engaged. Make your way back up. Chaturanga, or knee, chest, and chin, cobra or up dog. Find your way into down dog. Take a moment, breath here. And then left foot comes up and back for down dog split. Again, whatever that means for you. And left knee to left elbow, then right, back and forth, back and forth. Left leg up and back, down dog split, one breath. And then forward and into warrior one. Again, right heel is down. Trying to keep the hips square for warrior one. And we'll open the hips for warrior two. Arms are long. Left knee is pointed over the toes. Right hand comes down, left arm up and back. Reverse side angle. Add the bind if you like. And breathing into that left rib cage, opening up that left side of the body. Return to warrior two and find your way into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Imagine there is a wall behind you. You could be flat like a pancake against that wall. Coming down into the forward fold. Again, let this be a moment of ease. Release for the neck, for the shoulders, for the back. Coming all the way up and back, returning to one last high arch. Hands through heart center and prepare for malasana. I'm going to separate the feet about as wide as the mat, heels coming in, toes out. Elbows inside the knees and lengthen through the spine. And we'll add a twist here if you like. So you can stay in traditional malasana, or you could bring the left hand down, right arm up, twist to the right, wrap around for the full bind. You'll clasp your fingers behind you there if you've got the full bind. Remember, your body is your best teacher. I'm just giving you suggestions. Return to center and prepare for second side. Right hand down, left arm up. Stay here if you like. This is great twist. If you want to add the bind, you're welcome to do so. Looking over that left shoulder. And return to center. We're going to bring the big toes to touch and come up into prapadasana, so balancing on the tip toes. Top of the head high, tailbone reaching low. Come down with the knees, keep the toes tucked for a stretch on the soles of the feet. You want to keep the big toes touching if possible, the knees don't have to be touching. Shoulder stretch, right hand back, maybe just holding onto the elbow with the left or clasping the hands behind the back. Yogi's choice. What works for you? What's your body ready for right now? Keeping the toes tucked. Lots of room to breathe here. Release and switch sides. Left hand pats the back, grab the elbow, maybe reach around, grab fingertips. Got a moment, you could return to your intention, your word or phrase. And release. Let's come down into, release the toes and let's come down into a hare pose. So the top of the head is going to touch the floor in front of the knees. I'm going to reach back and grab my heels if they're available. If not, just hands resting by the sides. If you've got the full headstand pose, you can take it for a breath or two. I'm just going to hold here for a moment. Allow the inversion to give our heart a rest. Strengthen the muscles in the neck. And release down into shoulders, into child's pose, allowing the arms to relax by the sides of the body to really release the shoulders. Coming up to sitting, let's roll over to one side and bring the legs out in front. Scoot forward so you have room on your mat. We're going to lower down into shoulder stand. Toes up. Supporting your body with your hands on your lower back. Reaching the toes high up towards the sky. Squeezing out the thyroid here. Great time to close the eyes and just release and return to your intention for a moment. Knees come down towards the face. If available, toes touch overhead for the full plow pose. Continuing to support your lower back with your hands, especially if your toes are not on the floor yet. It's a lot on the neck. So you really want to be supportive and careful of your body here. We'll come down vertebrae by vertebrae. We're going to actually sit on our hands and use our abdominal muscles to lower the legs. Prepare for fish. Zipper up the legs, point the toes, lift up onto the forearms, reach the heart high, and top of the head comes down to touch the mat. There is weight on the top of your head. Now we're stretching out the thyroid. If you want to add the abdominal work, lift the heels a few inches off the floor. Just an option. Coming back down, lower the heels. And inhale, lift the heart and come down into released on the savasana pose. We're not done yet, but we'll just take a moment. And then we'll prepare for bridge. Feet parallel, heels pointing towards the sits bones, arms long by the side. Lift the hips up and walk the shoulder blades together under the back. Maybe weave the fingers together. We're going to come up a few times, so you have a couple times to do different variations if you like. Release the hands, come back down. Let's knock the knees together, feet wide, release the lower back. Lots of ease in this moment in between. Prepare for your second bridge. If you like, you could take a variation. Taking the variation, grabbing the ankles, lifting the hips. And you feel the digestive region opening up here. And coming down. This time you could do knees knocked or feet together, knees wide for a hip opener. For your last bridge variation, you could repeat something you've done already, or you could come up into wheel if you have the wheel practice. If you're in the wheel, you could think about pressing the heart towards the wall behind you, opening across the chest. And back hits the floor, and then come all the way down. Take a breath and then give the knees a hug. Release the lower back and massage the lower back on the mat. And feet wide. Let's windshield wiper the lower body, the knees side to side. And then you'll land with the knees to the left. And let the upper body, you can either continue to look up or you can face to the right. If you want to add on to the stretch, then the left foot gently rests on the right knee. But if that feels like too much, don't worry about it. Come back and switch to the other side. Knees to the right, upper body to the left. If you did so on the first side, Stack the right foot on top of the left knee. And finally, we'll prepare for Shavasana. The legs go long, arms are long by the side, palm face up, spine is long, nose is up towards the ceiling, toes are falling open, and eyes are closed. Complete ease in this pose. Releasing in the feet, in the legs and hips. Releasing in the seat, in the back, middle, lower, upper back. Releasing the fingers, hands, the arms, across the shoulders. Releasing the neck and throat, the jaw, lips. Let the tongue fall from the roof of the mouth. Release across the eyes and the forehead, base of the skull all the way to the top of the head. No strain or stress left anywhere in this pose. Perhaps returning to your intention and breathing your word or phrase. Inhale, calm. Exhale, calm. Begin to bring awareness back to the present. You can take your stretch, yawn, and find your way back up to sit. To close with Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. 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 Thanks so much for joining today. If you enjoyed this practice, please subscribe and like. It really means a lot to me, and it really helps with keeping this whole project going. Thank you.